Thank you, Mr. Chairman. John DeRosier, District Attorney, Calcasieu Parish. Let me suggest a couple of things up front. I'm getting to know more and more through these last couple of years Senator Morrell. He's a fine, decent, honorable gentleman. Number two, I've heard a lot about this system being adopted as a result of a vestige of slavery. I have no reason to doubt that. I'm not proud of that. That's the way it started. But it is what it is. However, ladies and gentlemen, that was 138 years ago. We'd have two constitutional conventions since then, one in 1974, that have not changed the concept of unanimous versus non-unanimous. They have left it alone. Let me tell you a very brief story, and that is when I was 13 years old, my daddy made me watch the Kennedy-Nixon debates about little islands called Quemoy and Matsu. And while I was sitting there watching them, and I was 13, I said, "Daddy, what's a conservative?" He said, "Well, son, the best way I can, if my daddy was a plumber, he said, the best way I can define that is a conservative is a person who, when he gets ready to change something, he looks at what he's getting ready to change to make sure it is better than what he's got already." So I would suggest to you that is the issue that we're here about today, not about the way something started 138 years ago. Some of you are old enough in this committee and in this room to have driven Volkswagens when we were in college. I did. Would we not have driven Volkswagens when we realized that they were ordered, designed, and manufactured by Adolf Hitler? I don't think so. Volkswagen was a pretty decent car. The concept has worked. Since the 1974 Constitution, we've had about 30,000 jury trials in Louisiana, about 743 per year. Of those 30,000 in which juries determined sufficiency of evidence, 12 of those cases at most have been reversed by the appellate courts in Louisiana for lack of sufficiency of evidence. 12 out of 30,000. Ladies and gentlemen, 9 out of those 12 were the result of unanimous verdicts. 9 out of 12. So where is any empirical data to the contrary? Where is any empirical data that 10 out of 12 does not work? And let me tell you, I don't do things simply because everybody else does it. But let me tell you, England, for example, Ireland and Australia, they start off with unanimous, but after a time you can go to 11-1 or 10-2. Scotland, Belgium, Brazil, Switzerland, a simple majority of 15. Denmark, a majority of judges, 8 out of 12 jurors. I am suggesting that whenever you get ready to punch that red or green button, whether it be in this committee or on the House or the floor, ask yourselves this question. I want to punch the green button requiring unanimous jury verdicts because. Why? Because it started with slavery, or because it's the best thing to do for the judicial system? If the governor had the authority and walked into this room right now and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot move any bill here today favorable, or you cannot defer, or you cannot move a bill unfavorable unless you are unanimous." Ladies and gentlemen, our laws of Louisiana would look like pamphlets rather than large digests, because nothing would happen. One person on a jury can mess up a whole process. And that is a fact. That is reality. So please, whenever you get ready to vote, whether it be here or on the House floor, ask yourselves, I am voting for this bill because. Thank you. I'm going to yield to Mr. Burkett.
Representative James, 5 seconds.
Mr. DeRosier, I am so utterly offended for you to start your comments and say, "I know that this was rooted in slavery, but it is what it is." And I needed you to hear that from me. And I wish you would look at me while I'm speaking with you, because I think I deserve that kind of respect after you just disrespected me on this committee. You are elected to represent everybody, and to admit that it started in slavery and say it is what it is, I hope the people of your parish are listening. And if they aren't, I'm going to make sure that they know what you said today. I am utterly offended. And for you not to even look at me in my face,
Mr. James,
this is a problem.
No, Mr. DeRosier.
I don't need your apology.
Hold up, guys. Let's listen, Mr. James. Representative James, finish.
I'm done, Mr. Chairman. I couldn't sit here in good conscience and not make that statement. You know, we take a lot here and a lot of things don't offend me because I have tough skin. But for you to admit it and sit there and say it is what it is, I think you need to think about that. You need to think about it long and hard. And I hope the people that elected you are listening. And if they aren't, I'm going to make sure that they heard it. I'm going to promise you that. I'm going to make sure. Because I'm sure they would be disappointed and offended just like I am. I mean, I'm bubbling right now.